GALP.
Hey guys, and welcome to GALP. It's me, Bish, and today we're going to be talking a little bit more about some games that I really do love, including SSX, which is a fantastic game series in my personal opinion. I recently went to Korea, and by recently I mean in September, and I picked up a Korean version of SSX 3 as well as a Japanese version of SSX Tricky. And yeah, why did I do that? Why? I'm not going to finish that because I might get copyrighted. But yeah, if you know that, drop the song in the comments. And yeah, anyway, I think everyone knows it's a Michael Jackson song. But anyway, besides the point, I haven't seen the new Michael Jackson film. I might not watch it. I don't know. Anyway, besides the point. So SSX, a snowboarding game that came out in the early 2000s and was a launch title on PlayStation 2. A cult classic, but one that I think people have forgotten about, I think, since co-op gaming has died out. And that's a real big shame, really, because SSX was the top of its game, in my personal opinion, and one of my favorite games, and I would say a beloved series of my childhood. I've played all of the games except for the one on the Nokia N-Gage, which I think was SSX 3. I've played SSX Tricky, the original SSX, On Tour, which I didn't really like, but we'll forget about On Tour. I think On Tour brought us some really cool stuff in terms of skis. That was pretty cool. Which we got to see in SSX Blur, which was the Wii version of SSX, which was a very interesting one as well. I think that was also one of the reasons that we got the Nintendo Wii, because of SSX Blur, which, that was an exclusive title at the time. And yeah, SSX 2012 as well on the Xbox. And people call it SSX 2012, I think, because that's when it came out. But for me, it's always been called SSX Deadly Descent because that's what they showed it off at E3 as, and it was a pretty cool game. And I feel like I keep on saying this every time we do an episode on it, a lot of things that killed that game was lack of multiplayer. It got this thing called 3-2-1 Go, which was basically you racing against friends' shadows and stuff, like a time attack sort of thing. It wasn't that cool. You couldn't really interact with friends online and things like that. I would like to see, they said that it was coming, and then EA stopped support for the game because they had brought in multiplayer, and then they were like, hey, here's Mount Addy, which was like all of these crazy tracks and things like that. And they were like, we're going to be remaking the old tracks and giving you stuff like Elysium Alps and Garibaldi and Tokyo Megaplex and all of this stuff, which, yeah, we didn't get to see because EA stopped support for that game. And it's sort of something that I really hate about certain games and certain titles is that they're left to rot. Like they were so big in their heyday, and if they don't make that much money anymore, or if they're not that successful, they just leave them to rot. And EA aren't the only company that's done this. I mean, Marvelous has done it with Senran Kagura. They've left that game series to rot. Trying to think as well, Koei has sort of left that game series to rot a little bit. Tokiden, once again, Koei's left that to rot. It's not just Koei, by the way. There's a lot of games companies that have left a lot of series to rot, which is just really bad. Like Sega, for example, Jet Set Radio. Can we get a new Jet Set Radio? I don't know if I think maybe there's one in the works. I'm not sure. But, there's a lot of game series that have just been left to rot. I mean, even Pro Skater, like Tony Hawk, we've got remakes of those games, which is a good thing that we did. I mean, we don't get any new ones because there are games like Skate and stuff like that. And, these genres have sort of died down since the PS2 era. And I kind of wish that EA would bring back SSX. But at the same time, it means that we're getting so many incredible indie games. And that's something that I really want to talk about today. And I mentioned that I'm going to dedicate an episode to HYPERyuki Snowboard Syndicate. And I didn't know about this game at all. I got a press release from the lovely people at Critical Hit PR, one of those PR companies that I get a lot of press releases from. And sometimes I don't look at them, right? But they got me with this. They said, Trick-fueled SSX spiritual successor. And I'm like, I'm in. Literally. I'm reading this now. It's pretty cool. I don't really cover events that are outside of Europe unless it's Tokyo Game Show, but I'm going to cover this, right? Because this was shown off at the Latin American Game Showcase, The new trailer highlights high-energy arcade snowboarding game tricks, tracks, characters, and more. So this was actually released today on the 5th of May, 2026. So this episode might not release by that time, but that's when this press release released. So I'm going to read the press release and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. Get ready to hit the slopes in a high-energy love letter to classic extreme sports games of the Y2K era. During the Latin American Games Showcase, publisher Acclaim Incorporated unveiled an all-new game trailer for HYPERyuki Snowboard Syndicate, offering a fresh look at the game's adrenaline-pumping arcade action, over-the-top tricks, vibrant visuals ahead of its launch on Steam and all modern consoles. I'm just going to leave the press release for a moment because when I was on the press release, when I was reading it the first time, I missed out that bit that said all modern consoles, and I was a little bit annoyed and I was a little bit upset because you can only request a Steam code, which I will be requesting a Steam code, and I will be buying this game on every console, you know. Any console that is going to be out on, if it's on the Switch 2, I'll buy it. If it's on the Xbox, I'll buy it. If it's on the PS5, I'll buy it. I'll buy it on every console because I really want to support this game. Anyway, back to the press release. First revealed at last year's Play Acclaim Showcase, HYPERyuki Snowboard Syndicate is developed by Mexican indie studio Wabisabi Games. Inspired by the fast-paced gameplay and stylish excess of classics like SSX and Jet Grind Radio, the game delivers a modern take on white-knuckle arcade-style snowboarding. Packed with high-speed excitement, HYPERyuki's latest trailer shreds the line, showcasing the game's ramp-laden tracks, colorful cast of characters, and death-defying tricks. And I'm just going to read a bit that's actually mentioned by the development team. We are honored and thrilled by the reception of HYPERyuki, said Anwar Noriega, CEO and co-founder of Wabisabi Games. It has been incredible to see players who grew up with the 90s and early 2000s classics revisiting those good old days through our game. Even more rewarding is watching a new generation who never experienced that era firsthand enjoy our title so much. And I love that. And Mr. Noriega, I mean, thank you for you and your team producing this game. I've not played it. I've only seen a trailer and I only knew about it today. And I thought, you know what? I got to make an episode about it. I got to push this out as much as I can on my end. I don't have the biggest audience, but I am very passionate about games like this. And I know our audience will be as well. Let's talk about the key features of this game. So there are multiple modes, it looks like. So there's challenge mode. In the challenge mode, you have to complete objectives to hit the highest score possible, ride rails, collect trinkets, and hit impressive tracks to hit the top of the rank on the leaderboard. So kind of think of it like SSX's trick mode, right? You know, when you're, or like a trick event really, where you're doing as many tricks as possible. I think SSX3 had this whole thing with trinkets that you collect in the sky. I think also Tricky had that as well. That would give you multipliers. I would assume it's the same thing in this game. There's also a race mode where you speed down the slopes against NPCs or other players in a fast-paced game mode. Tricks will increase your boost meter. Remember in SSX, what was it? Tricks equals boost, boost equals speed. So they're kind of going down the SSX route there, which is actually getting me really excited, making style and speed an important balance. So listening to that from the press release is hitting that SSX vibe, and I'm all in for it. Chill. There's a chill mode, which to me reminds me a lot of SSX3, where you can sort of free play across the slopes. And I'm not too sure how this game has it set up. Is it going to be a mountain setup like in SSX3, where you can start at the top of the mountain and then go on different tracks and courses? Or if it's sort of a select mode, similar to SSX Deadly Descents or even SSX Tricky, in which once you finish that track, you get helicoptered into the top of the track again. I don't know if there's going to be interlinking tracks or anything like that, but I think the more we find out in the future, then yeah, the more we do, I guess. So yeah, basically chill mode is a calm experience, hang around the tracks, enjoy the view in this endless mode. Who knows, you might even find some secrets along the way. So to me, it sounds like it is going to be some sort of endless mode similar to SSX3. There's also multiplayer. This is really cool. Compete against friends both online and in person, and that's what we love to see. Play online with up to 7 of your friends, or play through local multiplayer through split screen. I don't think we've ever seen an SSX game or an SSX style game in which you had 8 people playing online at once. Like I said, Deadly Descent had something like that, but I think it limited out at 4 and then had the rest of them as NPCs. I can be mistaken there. Now, there is also something here that says Shred. Bomb the slopes as a sentient snowboarding taco. I don't know what that is, and I don't know why that is mentioned, but the taco is a playable character in the game. It's pretty cool, and I'm really excited about that. Play as a taco. Looking at the game and looking at the trailer is a very exciting thing for me, to be fair. Yeah, the trailer. I'm trying to play the trailer. Oh! Looking at the trailer, it's fantastic. It's giving those SSX vibes. It's kind of got that sort of Jet Set Radio style to it. And one thing that I do love is that you have a narrator that sort of narrates each stage. I love the art style. It's not what I'm used to in terms of SSX, in the sense that it's kind of low poly, but I think that's intentional, and I think that's a really good thing because it's sort of neon colors, it's low poly, it's there to sort of invoke the nostalgia, and you can do like a bunch of different tricks, which I can see here. The slopes that are on there, the visual art style in general, it looks like a lot of these stages are inspired by SSX stages. You can see a lot of tunnels, a lot of sort of LED boards. I don't know if you remember in the old SSX games where you had these boards that would have arrows and telling you which way to go. You have that here. That's sort of returning as well. Painted snow, you know, the ability to choose your rider. It looks like there's 11 characters in this game. They don't show off all of them in the trailer. In the trailer, we see, let me just double check who we see. We see Blaze as a playable character who seems like the sort of surfer dude kind of character. Looks pretty cool. It doesn't say where the characters are from, which I would kind of like to see a sort of bio like we used to get in SSX, but this game isn't SSX. But each character has their own sort of individual style. In the rider select, you also have ranks and achievements, it looks like, and levels, character levels. So it's kind of got that sort of RPG element to it that we've sort of seen from games like SSX Deadly Descent. And there are different sort of stats which are marked out of 30. I don't know if you can adjust the stats as you level up and probably get them all up to 30, or if they are as they are. Now, I'm not too sure if that's the case, because in a sense, it would be kind of cool to have other characters that are better at other things, and maybe you can't necessarily max out all of the abilities on one character, because, you know, that might make it a bit overpowered, I guess, and it sort of loses the impulse to play as other characters. But anyway, you got Keiko. His pretty cool character. She's got like a massive ponytail, like full body ponytail. She's wearing very baggy clothing, very neon colors, you know, like you know, worker's jacket. You know what I'm talking about? Like a builder's jacket. High-vis jacket. High-vis colors as well, with that sort of neon purple and not neon purple, neon pink and green motif, which is pretty cool. She seems like she's more of a tricks character, but that's what I'm basing it on from the just rider select screen. Once again, we've got Blaze, more about speed from what I can see here as well. He's snowboarding and he's like half naked. So he's also got a mullet, which I think he's Australian. He gives Aussie vibes, like he's a surfer dude. But yeah, so we got Blaze. Who else? Brittany, who we only see for one frame, by the way, who's clearly Kaori from SSX. She gives that sort of vibe, and you know what I'm talking about, the sort of kawaii vibe. She gives that vibe, which is pretty cool. Very cool character as well. And the fourth character that we see is Takeshi, who is, I believe this is the Taco. This is who is character 11 out of 11. So I think that you have 10 base characters and Takeshi is a secret character, because why would they have 11 characters? Why not base it as 10? Anyway, Takeshi, really kind of fun character. He looks like he is a taco or a burrito of some sort. He is a food item, and I think is he holding a chili, and he's wearing like a little hat. It's pretty cool. I think maybe Takeshi might be the best character in this whole game. We'll wait and see. He seems pretty average as well. So Takeshi, good on you. And then you have 47 boards to choose from, all with different designs, and it doesn't look like they're different shapes and sizes, but I would imagine a game like this would have boards at different shapes and sizes as well. Your boards doesn't look like they level up. That's very interesting, but it does, depending on what board you pick, your stats look like they change. So that's a pretty cool thing as well. Link, tricks, stack points. Okay, pretty cool. Don't bail. It's pretty cool as well that there are certain things that you can do, like which is something that I've seen in like games like Tony Hawk, where you can sort of like do, I don't know what they're called, but they're like wheelies almost. And you could do this in SSX, but there was never a sort of a balance meter. And you had that in Tony Hawk, but you didn't have that in SSX. So it's pretty cool. A lot of the visual style is pretty much SSX with Jet Set Radio. And I love it. That whole sort of comic style, manga, neon, whatever it is. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a fantastic art style. The UI and the HUD looks very SSX-like, and I think if you're someone that's coming from a game like Tricky or any sort of SSX game, you're going to be very familiar with it, with your speed in the corner, your boosts on the right-hand side, your time, your score, as well as your combos as well. So like what your combos are, a combo meter, as well as what tricks you're doing. The tricks look pretty cool and pretty standard. I'm guessing a lot of tricks that are going to be basically the same as SSX. Stuff that's probably new as well. Are we going to see Ubers? It looks like that there is something similar to an Uber in this game. And the reason I say this is obviously looking at the grinding on the rails, but also looking at the, I don't know how to explain it, but like looking at what moves can be done, which is pretty cool. And I just noticed now, the game is called HYPERyuki, and I forgot that Yuki means snow in Japanese. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty nice thing. At the end of the trailer, there is another character that seems to be revealed who looks to me like Godzilla. So if you can play as Godzilla, or maybe a knockoff Godzilla, because I don't think they'll get the license to Godzilla. If they do, that'll be pretty cool. If you can play as a kaiju, then yes, I'm all for it. I'm all for the whole Godzilla thing. And I'm actually excited to see more, way more in this game. So yeah, a lot of people in the comments already are like, Jet Set SSX, the dream. Some people are talking about good customization and colors. And yeah, this is something that I will say with Acclaim, and this is something that they mentioned on the YouTube channel. They wanted to thank everyone who watched and shows love and support. And yeah, every view, every comment, every bit of support helps push the games further and gets more eyes on their teams who are pouring themselves into this game. They're just getting started, and they appreciate we all being there. So yeah, I'm very excited for this game. I only knew about it today, and I did a whole episode on it because I'm so passionate, and I can't wait for this game to go on Steam. I can't wait for this game to go on all consoles, and I really hope that this game is the future of snowboarding games, because the ones that we've had recently were not as good. And especially this is coming from a independent developer. Yes, it has a publisher, which is Acclaim, but the fact that it's coming from a independent developer, you know, GG, genuinely, like there is so much nostalgia, there's so much trippiness, there is so much, I think, love for this game. And yeah, if you love SSX, put this on your Steam wish list right now. Pre-order it if you can. Tell people about it, because I think people in the SSX community, and I think people in the sort of snowboarding, racing, arcade, whatever community this is, want to see more games like this. And the only way we get to see this is if a game like this succeeds. So let's make it succeed. Let's go. Share this episode with everyone you know. Share the trailer with everyone you know. Talk about this game. Speak to the devs. And that's another thing. I would love for the devs to come on and for us to talk about this game more with the devs. So that's something that I want to be a goal as we go through the development of this game. As we see more on this game, I do want to talk to the devs. So if they're going to be at Gamescom, I think that might be a good opportunity for me. Assuming I will be at Gamescom, I don't know at this point, but we'll see. I will try my best to get them on and discuss more about this game, because genuinely, I haven't been excited about a game like this in ages. So yes, you're hitting all the nostalgia buttons here. Acclaim and Wabisabi. I love the name Wabisabi. It's got Wabisabi. Anyway, that's the point. That is the point. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Share this around with everyone you can. Follow us on Spotify. I forgot to mention that, because that helps us out with our monetization as well. And yeah, let me know what you want to see in this game. what characters you want to see, what boards you want to see, what modes you want to see, what slopes you want to see. Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.